Many of our customers appreciate the ease of automating integration between any source system, but especially with NetSuite and adaptive planning. So let's have a look at how easy it is to run the process, but also how to manage that integration between the two systems. Here I'm looking at a dashboard, and particularly this chart that shows me 3 months of actual data. Right now we don't have April data in adaptive, but we're about to fix that. Let's say I just got a phone call from accounting and they've told me that April has been closed. It's ready for data integration to run. And so I may not do anything at all because integration can absolutely be scheduled to happen either every hour or maybe it's every Friday evening, whatever that cadence needs to be. But again, I'm anxious. I want to get that data into Adaptive as fast as possible. So I simply run this integration task and we'll see it walking through the steps of pulling data in via NetSuite. Now you may see this saved search capability. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but just to give you a heads up, you can use the APIs, go directly at the data, or you can use the save search capability of NetSuite, really an enhanced way of getting data pulled into the system. So I pulled that data in, and if I return back to my dashboard, we'll see sure enough, I now have April's data in the system. And many of those customers also appreciate that any user looking at reports or dashboards can simply click and explore that data. And they may choose to even drill into the transactional level detail. Now, to be clear, we not only brought in the trial balance, but we also brought in details around transactions in a table like this. We may have up to 30 columns, so users can see that transactional level right within the system. However, we can also drill directly through to NetSuite. And so if I'm a user who has access to both systems, maybe I'm doing my planning, and here I'm looking at actual data, plan data, and I'm making changes to my plan. Well, here I might see maintenance had a very large $16,000 worth of expense last year, but I'm only forecasting $5,000. So I want to see what's in this $16,000. Well, I can right click and drill through to NetSuite. And you'll see based on my privileges, I've been delivered directly into NetSuite where I can walk throughout the system. Now, of course, I'll need access to both systems in order to leverage that drill through capability. So I also mentioned that this process is not only incredibly easy to use to run that integration process, to be able to drill through into NetSuite, it's also really easy to create and maintain. So let's have a look at integration here and how we design our integrations, whether it's NetSuite or any other system. There are a number of tasks or steps we need to complete when creating integration. First off, we need to identify the data source. Then we identify and define loaders, create those tasks. You saw me run that task. If it's an on-prem system, we'll need a data agent, and then we're done. So let's have a look at the data source for NetSuite, where here you can see I put in my credentials. I have access to all of the tables within NetSuite, and I just need to drag and drop them into this staging area for import. Once I've identified the data source, I can now define the data loader. And if I go look at my example for NetSuite here, you'll see it's quite robust. I can even map that data as it comes into the system for any dimension or any account or a level structure here. And you'll see here we have our staging value, the account that's coming into the system from NetSuite, and where it's going to hit within adaptive planning. Now, if you notice very closely here, my first example, my account that's coming into the system is 6,300, but I'm mapping it to something else within Adaptive. You can even map multiple accounts to one account within Adaptive. So really powerful, again, can be done on any dimension, not just accounts. So with that said, the next task is to literally create the task of pulling in that data, as well as here schedule those tasks. So while you saw me run that on demand, you can also schedule this to happen every hour, maybe it's once a week, whatever the right cadence is in order to pull that data in from NetSuite. So we look forward to talking to you more about how you can leverage NetSuite's actual data and any data in NetSuite, pulling it into Adaptive for reporting, for analytics, and for planning.